I think that the moment of the birth of the vampire myth in English literature is with essentially there is a few writings here and there, a poem and this and that, but in fiction, most everyone agrees that is birthed by John W. Polidori with the short story The Vampire. Now, the fact that Polidori had an ambivalent relationship with his master and friend Lord Byron, and he based the character of the main vampire in that story, Lord Ruthven, on Lord Byron, immediately gave birth to a vampire that was both a loathsome parasite and a dandy, a seductive character that is later absorbed by Stoker in Dracula, and you can trace it all the way to Anne Rice, and I think that right now we have an unbridled sort of melodramatic, romantic fantasy with the vampire is only one half of the myth, the bad boy romantic lead myth, which is essential in Gothic fiction. It can be Heathcliff in Wuthering Heights, or it can be Robert Pattinson in Twilight. The thing that it tells you right now is that human relationships, intimate relationships, have become so completely demythified. They have become so prosaic. Whenever you talk about a relationship, you're talking about it in very prosaic terms. How much does he or she make? What job security? Nest egg planning. It's all very materialistic. Double income household. It all becomes very prosaic, and it's almost impossible to dream romantic things without sounding corny. So, the fascination of romantic fiction with the bad boy gets sublimated, and dark angels are created, angels of the night, that create a spiritual and physical bond with the love interest that is permanent and eternal. So through that fiction, you can abandon yourself to the lull of a romantic fantasy without feeling silly or stupid. What I find symptomatic is that I think I dare say for the first time in the culture of mankind, the vampire has been sort of defanged by making them celibate and asexual, as opposed to polysexual like Anne Rice did them. They have been Mormonized, so to speak, into being a sanitized creature. And I'm not in favor or against it. I'm fascinated by it because I do think it's a very strong symbol of where we are, and I find it intriguing. And I try to watch the phenomenon without judging it, but it is quite peculiar. What we were trying to do, though, is we were trying to deal with aspects with the only sensuality in the Strain books is the sensuality of feeding that pleases the predator but doesn't please the prey.